What up? Bodyguard. Back again with another post. Welcome to Heavy Attack Games, y'all. Today, it's time for another episode of Gas or Trash. And today we're talking about Suicide Squad. I see a lot of people making videos. For some strange reason, nobody is drawing the correlations between what I see. So, I'm going to go ahead and give you my point of view so we can see whether or not this game is about to be gas or trash. Let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, who made this game? Of course, it's another DC game. Only guys with a license, WB Games. Alright, thank God it's Rocksteady and not Monolith. Who can forget about that game that they just released? What was it? Gotham Knights. In which they killed off the most important character to the whole series. I mean, the series is named after this guy. All of these characters are side characters. So I don't know what's with WB Games. For some reason, they got like this Marvel MCU thing going on where they feel like they just need to totally destroy the foundation and structure in which the whole thing was built off of. Gets under my skin. All right. So this is a Rocksteady game made from the ground up. All right, these guys didn't pull from any of the Arkham games, which I think was a bad idea. The only thing that I think they pulled from the Arkham series was the art style. All right, which we all enjoyed, the dark, gritty flavor that art style was giving us. So we appreciate the fact that they kept those guys on board, and we like what we see so far. Alright, I'm going to talk about a few things that I see coming off of this situation, because here again, I think that the killing of the heroes before they have their own games is one of those situations that they just should not have went with. Bad idea. I would have rather had a bad Justice League game than to have had a game where we just start out killing the Justice League. That's just kind of crazy to me. Alright, and then the last time we seen Batman, last time I checked, he died at the end of Arkham Knight. So where is this Batman coming from? I mean, just kind of bothers me. The whole thing is just jumbled up. It looks messed up to me based upon the story of all of the games put together. I mean, of course, you got Batman Experienced, then you go back in time and fight as Batman Year One, then you come back and you go to Batman The End. Weird, kind of weird. I just don't know why they did it that way. And then now we flash forward. Of course, we're gonna have to flash forward because the game's not out yet. So we jump forward to February 2nd, 2024, and now we're killing off the Justice League. It just doesn't make sense to me. Not to mention the fact that I believe this is the second time that Rocksteady has killed Batman on screen. And this game, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, will make time number 3. Number freaking 3. Okay, how many times do I have to watch the most popular? Yes, he's more popular than Superman. Don't care how you feel. Don't know how many times I'm gonna have to watch DC try to kill its most popular character. It just doesn't make sense. This is madness. Stop. Rocksteady, Montreal, WB Games as a whole, freaking stop. We like Batman for a reason. Just because he can die doesn't mean he should die. I'm just flabbergasted at this point. Alright, so the first thing I want to jump into is I want to talk about the decision to make this game a live service situation. Okay, bad idea. We've seen that this doesn't work. You guys just tried this in Gotham Knights. Alright, don't do it, Rocksteady. We just watched our brothers do the same thing. Didn't turn out right. So I don't know why we would jump. I mean, you know, but then again, I take that back because for some strange reason, people just tend to have this thought process of it won't happen to me. Even if you step into the same bathroom with the same group of thugs who are going to beat the crap out of you, you just say, you know what? I have the skill that it takes for it to not happen to me. All right. I hate to be the one to say I told you so when this doesn't pan out correctly. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, if you got some time, don't do it. Please don't do it. Alright, I don't want to hear about the progression map or whichever way you guys plan on taking the game later on. I don't want to hear about that. Doesn't seem like a good idea because we've seen this before. And unless you guys are going to do something closer to the guys like Warframe, which was probably the best game to do it, and probably the only game that's been running since the inception of the PlayStation 4, which goes to show you how great those guys were and the improvements that they made to the game. Unless you're going to apply that type of pressure, we don't want it at all. Okay, we've seen this from the Avengers, we've seen this from Destiny, okay, we've seen this in Shadow of War, and tell me how we all feel about those games. Horrible. All right, we feel really bad about it. So we're hoping that this doesn't turn out to be the type of situation that we've seen in games of the past. All right, I'm just saying how I feel on that one. So you guys are gonna get an X from me. All right, and I'm not talking about Xbox. I'm talking about this is a thumbs down all the way. All right, don't do it. I just feel like you're gonna have to remove it later. I just feel like you're gonna have to issue an apology later. I just feel like you guys are gonna have to issue a statement on release because your freaking multiplayer was just as broken as Gotham Knights when it released. So that's how I feel, and I'm calling it like I see it early. Alright, now we gotta talk about the story and narrative, guys. Okay, so as it stands, of course, what we know so far, Brainiac has thrown his hat into the ring. He's jumped off the top rope. Alright, he's grabbed up all of our heroes and he said, hey, you guys are gonna do my bidding. Alright, now the one thing that I have an issue with on this situation is that what if we want to continue this style of gameplay and this game format at a later date after this is all said and done? There's a huge continuity issue in the world of Rocksteady's Batman world, or the Batman verse, or the Rocksteady verse, whatever you want to call it. The continuity of this is going to be shaken. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and call it out. I think they're gonna either A, throw a Crisis of Infinite Earth story back into the whole kerfuffle of what they got going on, or they're gonna pull the whole, oh, these are not the real heroes, these are just evil clones plot line. I don't want to see it again. We've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. Please don't give me this same storyline because I see it coming from a mile away. Now, people who might be new to DC heroes and new to those story plot lines might not be able to see this coming. But if you're a DC OG like myself, then you're going to see this and you're going to say, all right, cool. Evil clones? All right, that might explain why Harley Quinn even stands a chance. Look, the only few guys who are actual humans in this bad boy, well, I guess I would have to say, I think it's like, what, 3 of them who are actual humans? Does Aquaman count? I think he's an Atlantean. I don't think that counts. I don't think that's a full-blown human. I don't know. So, you got Batman, you got the Flash, all right? And you got John Stewart, Green Lantern. Okay, so these guys are the humans that are, and I'm not talking about humanoids like Superman, Wonder Woman, or, you know, what's my man? What is my man? Martian the Manhunter. He's not even human, he's Martian. Okay, so we got these characters who are actual humans, and the weakest one, of course she's the most fun, but she has the weakest power set of all of the characters, does not stand a chance against even the lowest line hero. And I hate to say it, but even though he's probably the most dangerous, but on the scale of power, Batman is the weakest link when it comes to the Justice League. Okay, now of course, if you're a DC fan, then you know that Batman's superpower is the fact that he's ultra rich and he has I was gonna say plot armor, but he has planning time. All right, so while you're not even thinking about Batman, he's already mapped out a strategy to take you out and has already put things into place to implement it and get you taken out quick as possible so that the people of Gotham suffer minimal damage. It's just how Batman operates, okay? Harley Quinn and the Joker have never stood a chance throughout the whole time that they've been dealing with Batman, okay? Batman has taken on full leagues of ninjas, okay? Quarter Owls couldn't take him out, all right? This guy literally sat in a chair and became a full freaking god at one point in time, okay? Batman is unstoppable, and he is the weakest link of all of the characters. Does not have super speed, does not have super strength, does not have anything that would make him an actual metahuman. He has none of that, unless of course you've like read the Metals deal where they introduced Batman being a metahuman, which is why he was able to reach those levels. But that's comic book stuff. It's neither here nor there. You got to go to a whole nother story for that. All right. So I say that to say this, okay? What changed when it comes to the powers of the Suicide Squad that gives them a chance to fight the Justice League? What absolutely changed within any of these characters to make them formidable against fighting such a powerhouse of the Justice League? The last time I checked, the Justice League was Earth's last line of defense. Unless you're saying the Suicide Squad is Earth's last line of defense, which to me doesn't make any sense. And if that's the case, then why not just lead with the Suicide Squad? Why even have a Justice League? And then on top of that, it just bothers me because of the way that it starts out. And I know it's the beginning of the game because these guys just got released. They still have on jail uniforms. Okay, so I just feel like it's the beginning of the game. Looks like it's the beginning of the game. If I was these guys, I would lead with the beginning of the game when it comes to whatever I'm showing off. So it just bothers me because I don't understand why you would have to fight against heroes that built the storyline that you were created for and actually win out. It's weird for me, you know, even if they win on like accidental quirky, you know, stuff that happens throughout the fight. It's just like, oh, okay, well, you know, had this not happened and they wouldn't have won. I still can't accept that because the Suicide Squad does not have the skill set to beat any of the heroes. Okay, Batman cancels out any of the Suicide Squad guys. Superman, it's not even getting me started on Superman. As a matter of fact, we got storylines where Superman is walking through kryptonite. Like, come on, man. If Superman gets to the point to where kryptonite can't stop him, then what hope does the Suicide Squad have? So I have a bit of an issue with how they're going to try to put this into play when it comes to these guys fighting these guys. Unless you're telling me that Amanda Waller is just that much of a great tactician that she's going to coach these guys into being able to beat Earth's mightiest heroes. Like, I want to see it. I love to see it, but I just feel like it's going to come off cheesy because we are talking about Earth's mightiest heroes. All right, now I got to point out the point blank obvious. Okay, guys, looking at this gameplay and then coming off of Spider-Man 2, which had absolutely the best traversal next to the Batman Arkham series that I have ever had the opportunity to play in a video game. We are treated with this. And then on top of that, none of the items that they're using in these videos are even brought from their own arsenal. They literally had to steal the items that they're using from the heroes that they're matching up against, which is crazy because I would like to think that any of the heroes who had these trinkets or these items would have a defense, even if it's just a basic defense, to the use of these items against them, because I'm pretty sure all of them thought about that. All of them. It doesn't matter which hero you decide to choose. I'm pretty sure that they know that there's a possibility that one of my items could fall into the wrong hands and be used against me. It just... unless you're telling me that all of the conditions are going to fall straight in line for these items to become the turning tide pieces to the puzzle that just completely overruns and destroys their ability to defend themselves against these villains. It just, no, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. You know, and then on top of that, you got John Stewart, who is literally a member of the galactic police force known as the Green Lanterns. Okay, they got all kinds of lanterns. If you just delve into a half of bit of the Green Lantern storyline, then you will come to see that they have lanterns for every emotional spectrum that a person can experience. It's just crazy to me how none of the other Lantern Corps decide that they want to make a, detour from what they were doing and stop this galactic threat. It's crazy. I don't get it. They just leave it up to the Suicide Squad. Like, where are the rest of the Bat family? Like, are they still in the end game of Gotham Knights, or where is any of the Supergirl or Superboy's Men Steel characters? Where is any of the Flash characters? Like, and that's another thing that bothers me about this, is the fact that these heroes have so many different duplicates of themselves that they have had to battle against. Why not just use those characters and let us play with who we want to play with? The Justice League. I don't think anybody was asking for the Suicide Squad to be playable in anything except for Fortnite. Which brings me to my next point. Why does this gameplay remind me of something that was pulled straight out of Fortnite? And if you don't believe me, take a look at this. Alright, shout out to the gamers who were actually playing this game. I don't play Fortnite as often as I should, even though I think it's a good game. I don't think it's good enough for WB Games to have totally ripped off the gameplay and tried to resell it to us in a whole different game. That part I am completely unhappy with. And because of all of these things that I have just been able to easily point out, I think that unless they make this skill tree a skill tree that completely changes the nature of these characters and makes it feel extremely good while doing it, and the story makes sense, and the music and everything that they decide to put into this comes together and makes a masterpiece, I'm gonna have to go ahead and say that this game is going to turn out as a load of trash. Bagged, piled up, ready to go to be thrown into the middle of a dumpster style can outside the back gate. Because this just doesn't make any sense to me. I would think that Rocksteady would have chosen to give the fans what they want. I mean, we have people who have been begging, all but begging, for a Superman game to be made, and they won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I get it. I understand that Superman games have a bit of a curse when it comes to what Superman is able to do on this game screen and how he's able to get away with having the power set that he has. But we still want you guys to try. Okay, we've watched you guys take characters who are nigh invulnerable and give them vulnerability. Okay, I even remember playing one Superman game in which Superman didn't even have health. The city had health, and the worse your performance as Superman, then the less health the city had. That was not really a good idea. I would rather they have Superman be beaten into a situation to where he's incapacitated, more so along the lines of a doomsday situation, but even then Superman didn't die. He still came back. I just think that you can still make a good Superman game, and even if the character doesn't have the capacity to pass away, you could still put him into a state where we at least feel a sense of urgency to perform like Superman, or we feel the sense of urgency to perform at the level that we think a top tier superhero will perform at. Either way it goes, give us what we want, because this is not it. Alright guys, this has been another episode of Gas or Trash. Of course, with your boy the Bodyguard, and I'm going to do my best to keep bringing you guys these videos. As I get more news and I see more things come out, I'm going to be willing to jump back in front of this camera and give you my honest thoughts on it. Alright, and here at Heavy Attack Games, we pull no punches. I say what I feel, okay, and I mean what I say. Alright y'all, until next time, I'm out.